Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. Today's show is supported by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even contracts given to you that you don't understand, plus a whole lot more. Contact Legal Shield for more information at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Again, 213-245-1305. Or visit them for more information at nocourt.us. That's nocourt.us. Got a big welcome to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM, right here in Las Vegas, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. And those also listening in on Spotify, our radio, as well as those watching on AMP TV, that's AAMP.TV, and Hotel Television from coast to coast. And starting right off the top, look, I don't know what else is going on in the world of sports. Actually, I do, but I have to say this is really significant in my opinion. I can't understand how Canelo Alvarez gives up a WBO light heavyweight title 6 weeks after the win. I mean, 6 weeks after the win. Doesn't that smell of something a little bit fishy, possibly? I don't know. Now, Canelo knocked out Kovalev literally 6 weeks ago to win the WBO light heavyweight belt. Now he's vacating the title. I'll get into that in just a minute. Now, there are no shady dealings or wrongdoings. That's a quote from somewhere in the sports sphere. Not really sure where that one comes from, but nonetheless, maybe it's just someone's opinion. Alvarez is voluntarily relinquishing title to comply with the WBO's rules, which prohibits champions like Alvarez from holding titles in multiple weight classes from other boxing organizations. Gotta tell you, man, I think that's wrong.
What? Free market, brother. Free market.
Dude, if you win a title, you should retain the title. I don't care what weight class it's in. If you could fight maybe in this division over here for this belt and that division over there for that belt, why not? What's the problem here? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's that whole non-compete stuff that everybody's got going on. Oh, well, our boxing or Glory or MMA or any of these other guys they got going on, everybody wants a single player for a single place. You're part of our team. You're part of our organization, but don't you dare hold any other titles.
I know. We're not going to tolerate that. Now, since Alvarez currently holds the middleweight and secondary super middleweight titles with the WBA, he had to give up his light heavyweight belt for the WBO. That's a bunch of BS, in my opinion. Now, Alvarez is getting something in return, though. According to the Four Letter Network, the WBO agreed to allow Alvarez to be the designated mandatory challenger to any WBO title holder in any division he wants to fight in. So Alvarez doesn't have any hard feelings about giving up the belt. In fact, he's looking at it as an opportunity, and that is a bunch of BS as well. It's a steaming pile of BS. I mean, look, here in the fight capital of the world, this is the kind of shenanigans that happens. That's exactly why they have, what? A boxing commission. Because there are things going on that maybe you shouldn't know about. I don't know. Maybe that's the case with this. Maybe not. But here in Las Vegas, got to tell you, man, there are some funky things that happen in the boxing world. But what I don't understand is, look, even if he has the designated mandatory challenger to any WBO title holder, that means he's going to win another belt and then have to give the damn belt up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to win one, and then you have to turn around and give it right back up. Then what's the point of even doing it in the first place? Is to hold on to it for a couple hours and keep it from somebody else?
Hey, I got the belt. There it goes. I have to give the belt away. Here, somebody please take the belt over here. Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't like the idea of limiting the fighters. I mean, look, you take a guy like Bernard Hopkins who won, I want to say he won the belt 8 different times, a bunch of different weight classes, whatever. But my point is, why shouldn't you be able to retain the belts that you win? Why shouldn't you?
I don't know. You earned it. I mean, if I earned a belt, I'd put it on my mantle and someone would have to fight me for it. You come after me. You want the belt back, you got to fight me for it. I'm not just going to let the belt. When was the last time have you seen that the belt just hangs out in limbo? No one is the champ. It just floats around. We just take it back to the museum and put it under glass.
That's the vacated belt. No, that's the vacated belt. That's exactly what's going on. So belts are floating around out there, and that's how people get title shots when they don't necessarily, I wouldn't say deserve it, but they're not necessarily in line to fight for the title unless there are two guys that are doing the same thing. They're in line to challenge for that vacated belt. And sometimes that happens, and sometimes they're jumbo names. Like we had Evander Holyfield, and it was Chris Bird, right, fighting for the IBF belt. Because the IBF belt, apparently, it was vacated. I mean, how does that work? Oh, no, better yet, I'm sorry. It was Klitschko and Chris Bird. They were fighting for the WBO belt. And there it is, that WBO again. Maybe they ought to just get rid of the WBO in the first place.
Well, and we were talking about the executioner getting in and having multiple belts. I mean, having multiple belts helps everybody because now what you're doing is you're promoting every time somebody wins somewhere else. You're promoting the thing that they just had. So wouldn't you want to be in that title? Wouldn't you want to jump through? Wouldn't you want to cross these lines and merge together and get more eyeballs and get more butts in the seats?
I don't know. I mean, it seems to me that because there's so much money in politics between the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF, and then there's all those other, I wouldn't say irrelevant belts, but those other belts that sit out there, and then you have regional belts on top of that. But my point is, with all these different classes, what does that mean? There's all different kinds of money involved.
Oh, that's all it is. It's all about the money. That's why you say this guy is exclusively part of this, and this guy's exclusively part of that. That's why it's money, because you turn around and you say, I'm going to capitalize on this guy's fame and this guy's ability, and then turn around and say, nope, he's mine, can't have any more belts, don't want to share, don't want to say anything else, because it's all about social media, and at the end of the day, it's all about dollars as opposed to the bragging rights of having a champion coming into your house as well.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of an undisputed champion is about as scarce as hen's teeth. You know, we're not really seeing those undisputed champions anymore because there's too much money at stake with all these different belts and weight classes and crap like that. I mean, why don't we just have one...
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal here with Long Beach Lenny. All right, also a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our NBC Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including our friends from Honolulu all the way to Western New York and a bunch of points in between. And Lenny, I got to break this up right now because we do have an audio clip of something going down in the television booth right now. That's ridiculous. Look at him go. Lenny, what the heck's going on, man?
Oh, boy. Now, that would be something that's happening right now. Two grown adults, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it was supposed to be. How about the Detroit anchors of baseball get involved in a physical altercation? Will not be returning Sal in 2019 because Mario Impemba and Rod Allen, the dynamic duo, or as we should say, dummies, that cover the Detroit Tigers for Fox Sports Detroit, will not return for the following year's season, weeks after the two were involved in a physical altercation with each other.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
And that's even reminiscent of it. People often say, so Lenny, why in the world is Sal over there in Vegas and you're broadcasting from SoCal? Because us that would happen.
Exactly.
Something like
we were
that.
in the same building. You know damn well every day. It's the same thing over and over.
I'll tell you what, though, the biggest loss of all of this is actually Mario Impemba. He was in his final year of $500,000 a year, Sal, and then next year he was up to be getting a raise, a 4-year contract raise of over $600,000 a year. Look at that.
That's ridiculous.
That's a lot of money to throw away.
Oh, man, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, man. I'm having too much fun with this.
Yes.
I mean, look at all that money they're losing, but more importantly, all they did was they put Detroit. I mean, look, Detroit is already kind of in the toilet as far as people's desire to go for vacation. I mean, who goes to Detroit for vacation? I don't know anybody that does. But, I mean, it's not really a destination that people go out of their way to go to. They kind of get stuck there. And so maybe it was that Mario Impemba and Rod Allen felt stuck there, and they just had enough. You know, that's it's just what happens when you're in the same booth in a crappy city. It is what it is. And, you know, hey, if we have listeners in Detroit, folks, you know that city's crappy too. It's nothing personal. It is what it is. But honestly, Lenny, I believe that these two guys probably should get their own skit on like Saturday Night Live or something, where they could really make some money and make up for the losses from their income. What do you think?
No, I think that would be a good Saturday Night Live skit altogether. Just having two guys that are in the booth for a while and maybe they're like arguing behind the scenes like, I can't wait till this sack of bleep gets out of here. And then all of a sudden, you know, they start throwing down on each other. That would be good. That'd be a great skit. And then have them both fall over into the stands, like out of the booth and into the stands and go wailing at each other then too. That would be funny.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
World champion. You are the best fighter in the world, period. Whether it's mixed martial arts, whether it's boxing, whether it's pulling hair, punching teeth out, breaking collarbones, I think you should have just one fighter, and that's it. You are the best in the world. Let all challengers come. If you could beat me on 390 pounds, come bring it and bring an army to lunch. That's how you solve all this crap. Anyway, folks, we're going to be back here with two-time Super Bowl champion Tyrone Poole in just a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come. Don't go anywhere.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Once upon a time, there lived 3 energy hogs. Now, an energy hog is what you have when humans waste energy. One day, the 3 energy hogs set out to find themselves a cottage.
Let's look for leaky windows,
Said the first energy hog, for he knew that would waste energy.
Let's look for leaky doors,
Said the second.
Let's look for a swing set,
Said the third, for he had more blubber than brains. So they set off down the road. Presently, they came upon a tiny cottage where dwelled a clever girl named Dreadylocks.
I hope it has leaky windows.
Cried the first energy hog.
I hope it has leaky doors.
Cried the second.
I hope it has a bathroom.
Cried the third, for only his brains were smaller than his bladder. But Dreadylocks liked playing cool games at energyhog.org, and from energyhog.org she learned how to use energy wisely. So the 3 energy hogs were forced to look elsewhere to waste energy, and had to use the disgusting restroom at the gas station down the road. And the moral of the story is, to use energy wisely, log on to energyhog.org, or waste not, hog not.
This public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you in part by Cali Vegas, helping people just like you create and host your very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Cali Vegas can help you with everything you need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic, like you're probably doing right now, and host your very own talk show in your very own studio. Contact Cali Vegas for more information at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119, or visit them at Cali Vegas, CALI Vegas.com. And welcome back to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 FM right here in Las Vegas. and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including those listening from Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA, all the way to Boston on WBNW 1120 and 102.9 FM. Of course, all you Patriots fans are going to want to know who our special guest is. In fact, we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw it over to him. Go ahead.
This is your only number 38, Tyrone Poole, from the 2003-2004 back-to-back Super Bowl champions, New England Patriots.
And we also have a couple of more guests, too.
This is your one and only Superwoman, attorney and NFL agent and former professional athlete, Ella O'Kelly.
All right. We got everybody here. And we even have somebody else. Who else is with us?
This is the one and only
All right. I believe we're going to throw it over to Craig once again so he can properly introduce himself.
This is the one and only great Craig Rucker.
All right, Craig. Tell everybody about yourself in 30 seconds.
I'm a athlete out of Marshall. Athlete out of Marshall University, a hard worker that enjoys the process, the grind. I'm hungry. I think that's what separates me from most. I'm also a great role model who's always looking to inspire and help others.
All right. All right, so we've got a very good crowd here. We got to make sure everybody gets a round of applause. And, of course, handling all of our engineering, and that would be Sonar, so everybody knows Sonar. And, all right, so let's get right off the start with this. Now, Tyrone, everybody knows you as being you're the world champion, but you're also the Ninja Warrior guy. And I got to tell you, I was very excited to hear when you first start getting into the Ninja Warrior thing, because, you know, our Ninja Warrior correspondent, of course, is Lance Pickus, the Cowboy Ninja. How did you do with that, by the way? I had to ask you before we get into the other.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys giving me Lance's contact number, because, you know, he kind of just told me what to expect. And it was almost to the point where I didn't have to work out. He gave me such great instructions. And when I went there, it was just athletic ability. Now, I will say this about the American Ninja Warrior course. You don't have to have muscles. It's not about muscles. It's not about, you know, strength. It's not about size, because I actually saw a guy who had one leg. He was an amputee, and he actually made it to the finals. So to me, after running that course, I found out it's all about you understanding the dynamics of how to swing your body from one obstacle to the other without tripping up and falling in the water. But it's very fun to do. You know, I would do that one over that Spartan course that The Rock has. So Ninja Warrior course, man, it is awesome.
That's great. I went to the finals. You know, they hold the finals out here in Las Vegas, and I was at the finals last year. And boy, it was pretty exciting. But I remember being there literally from 9 o'clock at night, and I came later, and I was all the way there till almost 5 o'clock in the morning just to see the finals. Boy, that was a long day. Mercy.
It was, and see, that's the thing that I did not expect, and that's what you get when you're a rookie, a newcomer. That's the same thing Craig Rucker, who is going to tell you guys about him. He's going to face going into the NFL. A rookie, you don't know anything. I came half prepared. I thought it was going to be like maybe a 3-hour show, and boom, I'm back home by 10 o'clock. I did not run until I got there at 5 p.m., and I didn't run until about 11:50. So
that's exactly what
I'm like, come on. I'm like, yes. I'm hungry. I'm like, my mind. I'm like, come on. I really don't want to be here now. So my focus was leaving me, but I had enough in the reserve to actually make it to the finals.
Right. I mean, that is the ultimate in being put on ice. You know what I mean? Boy, that is a long, long wait. And I can't imagine how trying that could be when it comes to, well, let's face it. I mean, Ella, you know what it's like, you know, waiting just like going through law school, right? I mean, You've been in the rodeo. You're born and raised in Albany. You attended the University of Albany, and you did a lot of great things in your life. But hey, good things come to those who wait. So Tyrone, next, the lesson learned, of course, as you know, hoisting that Super Bowl trophy, right? Hoisting that Vince Lombardi. It cringes me to say that because I'm from Chicago. Hearing anything Vince Lombardi, but nonetheless. But the fact is, Ella, I know you had very hard to get where you're at, and obviously, Craig, you're working very hard at the same time. So this is a team. Tell everybody, Ella, about your experience, how you arrived at the stage where you're at today.
Absolutely what you just said. Patience, vision, and patience and persistence. You have to have them all. If you don't know where you're going, you can't start. But once you know where you're going, you're not going to get there if you're not patient and have persistence. And so I started off with a vision and was very persistent in how I want to get there. Persistence included me identifying individuals that I had to add to my team in high school, outside of high school. When I say team, this is not just in sports. This is in the sport of life. I had to add and surround myself around people who knew things that I didn't know. And then I had to be patient in learning whatever it was that they was telling me that I needed to do. And I stuck with it. And that's the only way you're going to continue to excel in life in any area that you want to excel in.
Right. And folks, by the way, we're here with Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion, Ella O'Kelly, and Craig Rucker. Ella is an agent. She is a supersonic agent, and Craig is a supersonic athlete. All right, so continuing on with that path, Ella, I want to know a little bit more about how you made the transition from where you were going. Was law school your target, or was that something that you sort of decided, I think I need to be doing this because maybe I can add tremendous value in this particular area of the business world?
That is absolutely it. I was not one of those individuals that I met in law school who all knew they wanted to be lawyers since they were 5 years old and some since they came out the womb. That was not me. For myself, I always knew I wanted to help individuals and empower individuals, and I studied criminal justice in undergrad for a different reason. But in my mind, when I got into law school, it was for a total different reason. I was in human resources. I figured I wanted to go into law school to excel in learning the federal and state law. But once I got into law school, because I still had my foot in the door in sports, because I'm a former professional athlete. I helped professional athletes when I was a former professional athlete. I even repped and helped myself negotiate contracts. So when I got in law school, it all clicked. I had what they call your aha moment. It was like, okay, I'm here, and now I know why I'm here. It only makes sense for me to get this knowledge and this piece of paper to take what I've been doing to a whole nother level.
Okay, so you're a track star. You're a track star, right?
Yes, I am.
Tell everybody about your experience. Tell everybody about your accomplishments. Take 30 seconds to talk about that real quick.
Former Gamecock, University of South Carolina. I was the first one in SEC history to win both hurdle races, 100 hurdles, 400 hurdles. I am six-time SEC champion, All-American, NCAA champion, still currently hold the school record in the 100 hurdles and the 60 hurdles at the University of South Carolina. And then in 2000, I went pro after I got fourth at the Olympic trials, and I traveled the world. My feet brought me around the world, and I met new people and just excelled from there.
Wow. That's incredible. So you went to the real USC.
I like that. I went to the real. Yeah, they try to they always try to rob us of the U and just, we went to the real U of SC, Gamecocks all day. Absolutely.
I had to throw that one out there. All right, so Craig, I'm going to turn to you real quick and give you the 30-second on the best skills you bring to the table and the most impact you can make on the field.
The best skills I bring to the table is my speed. I think my speed is what separates me from most. You can't coach speed. My leadership. I'm a team player. I'm always seen as a leader and a vocal leader, and I'm just a hard working player. That's always looking to get better and inspire others. To get on the same track as me and just help others to be great.
So you have that breakaway speed that people always talk about, but it's really hard to teach speed. They're the only person I know that teaches speed is Don Beebe, and he has a clinic for that over in suburban Chicago. Don was one of those lightning fast guys. So it's really hard. And look, it's a God-given talent. You've got yourself lightning fast speed, and that's going to land you somewhere in the NFL, of course, with the help of Ella and Tyrone. That's for sure. Folks, we're going to be back here with a very cool trio of people. We've got Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion. We have Ella O'Kelly, fantastic sports agent, and Craig Rucker, supersonic athlete. Back here in a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Once upon a time, there lived 3 energy hogs. Now, an energy hog is what you have when humans waste energy. One day, the 3 energy hogs set out to find themselves a cottage.
Let's look for leaky windows,
said the first energy hog, for he knew that would waste energy.
Let's look for leaky doors,
said the second.
Let's look for swings then,
said the third, for he had more blubber than brains. So they set off down the road. Presently, they came upon a tiny cottage where dwelled a clever girl named Dreadylocks.
I hope it has leaky windows,
cried the first energy hog.
I hope it has leaky doors,
cried the second.
I hope it has a bathroom,
cried the third, for only his brains were smaller than his bladder. But Dreadylocks liked playing cool games at energyhog.org, and from energyhog.org she learned how to use energy wisely. So the 3 energy hogs were forced to look elsewhere to waste energy, and had to use the disgusting restroom at the gas station down the road. And the moral of the story is, to use energy wisely, log on to energyhog.org, or waste not, hog not.
This public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
The symbol of power and majesty, the gorilla, feared and respected. Our closest animal cousin, believed to possess human-like depth and understanding. Green Kong Cannabis Dispensary of Paris aspires to develop the same understanding. Green Kong is a destination, a personal experience with great service for everyone. Located right off the 215 freeway and Hurley Knox Road in Paris, Green Kong is safe, legal, and easy. Visit greenkong.com for orders. You must be 21. Green Kong is the place for you. Experience Green Kong's exotic surroundings in their jungle-like setting. Bathed in soothing light, Green Kong is a go-to destination for the CBD or cannabis curious or the connoisseur. Google greenkong.com or visit Green Kong's brand new, exciting new location in Paris, California.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. This segment is brought to you in part by the American Business Trust Company, helping companies with business strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing companies with physical locations or on the. For more information, contact them at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUST, abtrustco.com. Or call 657-600-1876 for more information. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Give them a call today. They can probably help you right away. All right. Let's turn the volume up on that applause because it's a little subtle. There you go. Hey, it's live, folks. Anything can happen. Folks, we're here with two-time Super Bowl champion Tyrone Poole and his wonderful business partner and sports agent, Ella O'Kelly, and Craig Rucker, a supersonic speed demon athlete, which we're going to learn a little bit more about. We did talk a little bit more, or actually we heard a little bit about Craig, about his speed, and I want to know a little bit more about off the field, Craig. What are you doing off the field to make yourself more visible and more attractive to the NFL teams that may be looking at you?
Well, what I'm doing is, just trying to, stay focused. While I'm down here in Orlando, Florida, I'm actually doing speed training with Speed Line 4. It's who I'm training with Coach Les. And, I'm just just getting my body right, staying focused, staying afloat, and just trying to better my game every day. While I'm in the off season and preparing for this draft.
Okay, so now Ella's a track star. Ella is a phenomenal track and field star. So Ella, have you done any training with Craig as well?
I have not yet, but we talked about that. That was one of the things I talked about in probably our second conversation. I said, look, you're going to get an agent who is more than an agent. I have experience in speed. So you're going to come down here to Atlanta, and we're going to run, and I want to see exactly what you look like. Same thing with Tyrone has experience with that. So we already talked about when I put the agent hat down, I'm also that person who's that athlete and can get not just physically, but get in your head, get in there mentally as well. So, yeah, we had that conversation, and he knows with respect. We're waiting for that.
Right. So Tyrone, when you were playing, could you imagine yourself, of course, already being at the top of your game, but also having a powerful attorney, but also a professional athlete that was, well, possibly faster than you? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if she is. She isn't. Let's just say she is. Yeah. But imagine having an agent that's faster than you that could possibly teach you speed. That's pretty exciting.
I know, right? They always say if you want to be the best, you always have to come with your glass empty. So I'm always looking for people who are smarter than me. Actually, my quote is, I want to be around people who make me feel dumb because, they basically help me to mentally get better, physically get better, and it's all about a team. I know what it's like. When a team plays together, you win championships. So when you got a top-notch lawyer who's now a top-notch agent, all the players, everyone that comes to ultimate greatness, they're going to get the best of both worlds. It's like eating your cake, having your cake, and eating it too.
Okay, so Tyrone, being a two-time champion with the New England Patriots, this really makes our Boston audience, our New England audience, very happy, I'm sure. What do you have to say for your organization moving up and possibly doing some work up in the Northeast? Is that something that's on the horizon?
Well, anything's possible, and we just take it one day at a time and just see what happens. I don't want to say too much, but it's always great whenever you can move and just create and take over other territories, spread your brand.
See, that was kind of the made-for-TV answer. Like, how many times have you?
That could be a Belichick answer.
Right. You've done the interview. Hey, it was Tyrone. You just won the Super Bowl. You won Super Bowl 38. What are you doing? You're going to Disneyland? I don't know. Whatever. Well, we're taking it one day at a time, and we're just gonna keep focused on the prize ahead of us. All right, never mind all that. I want the real. Are you going to be headed? Are you going to be headed up there and taking some of these folks from New England? Maybe those young hopefuls as well as those down in the Southeast and on the West Coast. How are you going to impact New England? Tell me something. Come on, give the people listening on WB&W some hope.
Talent. One thing I can say is I have an eye. I feel like from a football standpoint, I have seen talent. I know what talent looks like. And I know that there is talent at all the schools up north, whether it's Boston College, UMass. Talent is everywhere. And our goal is to make sure we infiltrate all areas and leave no rocks unturned, looking for those athletes that are hungry, those athletes that want that family atmosphere, those athletes that want someone to be there, not only from the beginning, but the middle and also the end. The end meaning not just when you retire, but when you are in your 50s and your 60s, and you hopefully we'll be still able to move around when the athlete that we represent is 60. But what I'm trying to say is you're going to get someone who's going to be with you from conception to the end. So we're not going anywhere. It's a family atmosphere. We actually have it in our motto. Our slogan is we're going to change the game. Ultimate greatness, we're changing the game, because you got two professional athletes from different levels, but different areas of sports, but with the same attitude. We've seen the good and bad that our agents have done and didn't do, so we're going to do what's right amongst our peers.
See, that's the answer that I was looking for. I don't want the made-for-TV answer. Oh, no. We don't need the made-for-TV answer.
We're moving on to the next game.
Exactly. All right, so Ella, let's take it from your perspective, from the speedy, super smart woman standpoint. Now, how many lady athletes are you after? Here's the reason I'm asking this. Are you going to consider doing anything in the WNBA, or would you consider that? And the reason I ask is because there's such a pay difference. It's so unfair for the WNBA players versus the NBA players, because let's face it, most of the WNBA teams are owned by the NBA teams already. But there is a terrible glass ceiling in pay. Can you smash that glass ceiling and get those ladies what they're supposed to be getting?
Absolutely. So everything is in strategy. It's a blueprint, just like in my training. I look all the way out there at the championship where I want to end up, and then I come back to the back and start training so I can get there and execute properly. So that is on my vision board. That is on my list, which is not just WNBA, but infiltrating other areas as well. Anywhere where there's a need for empowerment with talent, I envision myself being there. And so I take it one race, if you will, one hurdle at a time. And as I clear one hurdle, I'm on to the next hurdle. And so I can make sure I do it not just seamlessly, but I can execute sufficiently. But that is definitely on my list. Where there's a need, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, the ladies really need it, because they've really been wronged, in my opinion. And it's ridiculous. And, let's face it, women's basketball is the purest form of the game. You don't see a bunch of throwdowns. You don't see the slam dunks. No, you see fundamental basketball. The ladies can shoot. They can dribble. They do all the things that you're taught to do, or the things that hopefully you're taught to do, but you actually see it in a live game at a professional level. And I had to ask that, getting away from football for just a moment, because the ladies are really, really overlooked, and it's very frustrating. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to from the WNBA that have said the very same thing, even the coaching.
Right. And it's not just, it's the WNBA for sure, but anywhere you think of women in sports, period, this is a common conversation. I mean, whether we're talking with WNBA, soccer, track and field, whatever it is, if it's a woman in the sport, we're just treated a little differently, looked at a little differently. Although we put just as much work in, we put just as much numbers up, it's just looked at differently. And again, like you just stated, it takes people off the court, off the track. It takes people that have a seat at the table, and not just have a seat, but have something to contribute and to be a full-on representation of those who are not represented in those particular areas, who can speak from a very personal place. Absolutely.
Right. And it takes somebody with strength. And you know what it's like to win at the highest level, just like Tyrone, you certainly do. And Craig, you're getting there as well. Craig, let me ask you, from the track and field side of things, did you participate in track and field as well, or is it just football?
Yes, sir. I also participated in track and field in high school. I did the 100-meter dash and the 200-meter dash. The 100-meter dash, I ran a 10.6, and then 200 I ran a 22.2. So I'm moving. I have that track background.
That's pretty quick. But Ella, can you beat him?
Oh yeah, look. I was just to save face. I will run with everything that I have inside of me before I let him beat me. I'll make the finish line shorten before I let him beat me. So that's how it's going to have to happen. Yeah, I'm going to win no matter what.
It's that kind of team. A lot of people are missing that in the workplace here in our last 30 seconds or so. A lot of people are missing that in the workplace. They're missing fun. They're missing that part of the competitiveness. Everybody is so worried about being correct and not hurting anyone's feeling. And she says, no, I'm going to whoop your butt and I'll see you at the finish line. That's hilarious. I love that. All right, folks, we're going to be back here with Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion, Ella O'Kelly, who is also a super agent, an attorney, and a very, very speedy woman herself, and also Craig Rucker, a superstar. Folks, don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus. Back in a minute.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Once upon a time, there lived 3 energy hogs. Now, an energy hog is what you have when humans waste energy. One day, the 3 energy hogs set out to find themselves a cottage.
Let's look for leaky windows,
said the first energy hog, for he knew that would waste energy.
Let's look for leaky doors,
said the second.
Let's look for swings then,
said the third, for he had more blubber than brains. So they set off down the road. Presently, they came upon a tiny cottage where dwelled a clever girl named Dreadylocks.
I hope it has leaky windows,
cried the first energy hog.
I hope it has leaky doors,
cried the second.
I hope it has a bathroom,
cried the third, for only his brains were smaller than his bladder. But Dreadylocks liked playing cool games at energyhog.org, and from energyhog.org she learned how to use energy wisely. So the 3 energy hogs were forced to look elsewhere to waste energy, and had to use the disgusting restroom at the gas station down the road. And the moral of the story is, to use energy wisely, log on to energyhog.org, or waste not, hog not.
This public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you start up with capital, business strategy, sales, and marketing, and establish your company with a physical location or an online presence on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. Then American Business Trust can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call them at 657-600-1876. That's American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They'll help your business right away. That's American Business Trust Company. Online at abtrustco.com. American Business Trust Company.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal. Folks, make sure to check out thesportscircus.com for our future guest, our prior guest, our podcast. Also, check out our partners, lots of great charities that are represented by some fantastic causes. As a matter of fact, who knows, maybe we might even put something up there for Tyrone Poole and his speaking, because he is a fantastic motivational speaker, and I think we're going to ask him just a little bit about that in just a moment. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on Magic 97.9 9 FM right here in Las Vegas, and our CBS, NBC, and Fox stations from Honolulu all the way to Boston. A bunch of points in between, including LA, Vegas, Southern Florida, the Florida Panhandle, Alabama. We're everywhere. And those people watching on AMP TV, a big hello to you, and Hotel Television from coast to coast. We're joined by two-time Super Bowl champion Tyrone Poole, a wonderful attorney, Ella O'Kelly, that just happens to be an agent, and a very fast one at that, and Craig Rucker, who is a very fast, but maybe not as fast as his agent, Ella. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for the last segment as well.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, Craig would make me pull my hamstring. I'm not even going to do it.
So it's like that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, he will. I'm not even going to do it.
I think it's all
So
right.
You're not even going to stretch out for it. Okay, I got it. That's how little respect. You're not even going to stretch out. You say, I'm just going to beat him anyway. Oh, I see it. I'm
just going to step out there and just go. I'm just going to go and just possibly stick my foot out. But no, he's absolutely amazing. We're excited to have an athlete. We're excited to have an athlete like Craig Rucker, a.k.a. King Ruck. We're excited to have him, and that's what ultimate greatness is about. Yes, he goes by King Ruck. He's a little humble now, but he's King Ruck because he dominated his field. And like you said, just explosive speed and just powerful as well. And our plan is for him to continue to make noise on the next level. And that is what ultimate greatness is about. We brought two synergies together, myself and Tyrone, and we also have some other partners as well who are helping in other areas. But as we talked about this whole show, it's a common theme. We have experience. We have experience on the battlefield. So when we're actually giving the notes and we're telling people how to go about the war, it's not from books. It's not from what we think it is. It's not from what we just desired to do. We lived it. And that's what we decided to do with Ultimate Greatness, is find amazing people, amazing talent like Craig, who needs not just on the field guidance, but also off the field. We empower all of our talent as business professionals. And we want to take them, like Tyrone said, from the beginning, from conception to the end, and have that relationship, and they can actually consult with people who are working for them, who understand what they're going to go through.
Right, and that's a big problem I see with pick your favorite sport. It doesn't matter out of any of the four major, and let's include soccer because, hey, soccer is a big deal. It's just that here in the U.S. we don't really think of it much as, but those are actually the highest paid athletes in the world at this point. And of course, unless you're in the boxing field and you happen to be involved in that. But I guess my question lies with all those agents and organizations that, well, we're going to do this for you, we're going to do that for you, and then after they get their 20 points or whatever it is, they're cut, then they kind of abandon their athletes and move on to the next one. But you are from seed to table, so to say, and you are developing your talents. You're developing these humans into better humans than they already are. And so on and off the field, court, ice, whatever it is that they're participating in, you can actually nurture them through a life process where a lot of athletes are really left abandoned after a contract signing, and that's it. Okay, buddy, you're on your own.
And that's what it's about. It's about we tell our talent that this is a means, not an end. And your means, we're helping you to maximize your means. So I'm going to make sure that paperwork is straight. I'm going to make sure intellectual property is protected. I'm going to also help you develop businesses. So that way you're using your means to its fullest, but you have to contribute on a higher level. It shouldn't be isolated, again, like you said, on the field, on the court, on the ice. That's just something for you to contribute on a bigger picture. And so that's what we're doing. Absolutely.
Right. And Tyrone, you could speak to this, just like Ella and Craig, you all can speak to this. But Tyrone, you certainly know that there are no shortcuts. Even when you went to go do the American Ninja Warrior, there are no shortcuts. No, you have to put the work in. And all three of you know, just like I do here on my side of the microphone, there's a lot of work. There's thousands of hours of prep time and actual on-the-air time to produce a good product where people are going to be engaged and entertained. They're going to get thought-provoking content and so forth. You're doing the same thing. But Tyrone, speak to the fact of your experience going from little college to Super Bowl champion to entrepreneur to mega speaker.
I'm glad you asked that question. That is a very great question for me to even tutor Craig a little bit while he's listening. But you have to understand where you are. You have to know your system first and foremost. What are you chasing? And then you have to know where you are. Because everybody wants ultimate success. Everybody wants to be the best, and whether it's a corporate America or it's the sporting world, the lower you are on the pole, you have to understand the harder you have to work. There's a difference between being in the SEC and being in a conference or go to a school where people say, where's that school? And they're looking for it on the map. So basically what they're telling you is you have to work extra hard, 5 times harder. You just can't put up, as a wide receiver, you can't have just 5 catches and 60 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's not going to cut it if you're not in the SEC. If you're in the SEC, that's a pretty good day. But anywhere else, it don't count. So coming from Fort Valley, I understood that in order for me to play on that level, which I knew I could, I had to be put in front of those guys who they considered the big dogs. And when I got in front of those big dogs, I had to make sure they felt my bite. So it's the same thing in corporate America. There are people who have been running businesses for 20, 30 years, and you're just starting a business. So right away, they're going to give you the little flick with the finger. Get off our stage. You're not big enough. So you have to keep coming back consistently. You can't give up. And then one day when you show up, they're going to say, hey, I've been expecting you. Here's a seat right here. So you got to fight. You got to know where you are. Nothing is going to be handed to you. You got to go out. And as they say, it's not so much the size of the dog in the fight, but it's the fight inside of the dog. So you have to understand who you are and go out there and take it.
That's right. Yeah, and let's face it, Tyrone, out of all the work you've done coming from the small school, getting to the biggest stage, and now you're on big stages talking about it, and now you're helping others in the field. I mean, you've come full circle. And the reason I mentioned Don Beebe earlier with his speed, because he was the same guy, came from little Chadron State in the middle of left field Nebraska. And I remember his speech of what he said about how the Buffalo Bills said, if you could run a 4.2, we'll get on a plane and we'll bring you right back with us. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. They had to time him like 3 or 4 times because they couldn't believe he could do it. So here we go. It's the same idea. Craig, you're out there. You're going to kill it out there. And I'll tell you what, we're excited here at the Sports Circus to have you on before you make – well, before you hoist that Super Bowl trophy, you'll have your turn at it, just like Tyrone a couple times. And Ella, you have some fantastic guidance, I'm sure, to offer to Craig, and I'm sure a lot of that's going to spill onto Tyrone and the organization as well. How does everybody follow the organization?
They can go to ultimategreatness.com, and that's ULTIMATE. Greatness is spelled with the number 8, GRATNESS.com. And when they go to ultimategreatness.com, they can read in our bios, and it'll tell them how to get in contact with us on other platforms as well.
All right. And Tyrone, real quick, do you have any speaking engagements coming up? If so, go ahead and get it out there and tell everybody how to follow you as well personally.
Yeah, well, from the end to the beginning, they can follow me at Tyrone Poole 38. That's all my social media, Tyrone Poole 38. My website is TyronePoole38.com. Speaking wise, I am a keynote speaker, conference speaker, commencement speaker. I speak to corporations. I just come from Cabo a week ago, last week, speaking to some CEOs there. I've presented myself before middle school, high school, college athletes. The topic is ultimate success in life, the formula. And just like anything, there's a formula. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you know the formula, if you understand algebra, you know the formula. It doesn't matter if you're working with a 1-digit number, a 10-digit number, or a 500-digit number. If you know the formula, you're going to get the answer. So that's what I talk to people about, the formula. What do you want out of life? I'm going to give you the formula, and then you tell me how it turns out for you.
All right, fantastic. And thanks, Tyrone and Ella, for joining us. And Craig, listen, Craig Rucker, folks, you keep an eye on him, and you make sure you follow their organization, because I have to tell you, some good things are coming up on the horizon. Check them out, Ultimate Greatness Inc. Check them out. And, folks, thanks for joining us today. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, and we'll see you next time here on the Sports Circus on your favorite channel. Until then, so long, everyone.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
It's time for NBC Radio News on KCAA Loma Linda. Brought to you by Green Kong Dispensary, the Inland Empire's finest curated medical and recreational